Where do you see this one being won and lost in this second term? Can Mitcham really make a statement, Ray?
I think that Mitcham can, but they've got to get that running game, as I always talk about. They've got to get that up and going. But having said that, look, Templestowe, I can understand Rick Irwin being very happy with their quarter, apart from the lost opportunities.
All set for a start here in quarter number 2 at Templestowe Reserve. This is AFL Game Day match of the round. Good start there from Prestigia Camo in the ruck. Roves his own ball and pushes it forward for the Dockers. Now he's got a chance to get it once again. On that occasion, good work from Jackson Irwin. Seen a lot of him so far as Bane of the Ryan variety. Kicks it inside forward 50. Bouncing ball comes out the back to Mariani. Sits it on the boot. Can't quite get much working for it though. And now a chance for Mitcham to clear out once again. Good punch from the back came from Seppi.
Matty Lapari, that was an absolutely fantastic work rate from him. Mitcham 3-on-1, had 2 in the air, 1 on the ground. They were off and running. Matty Lapari cutting across. Worry for Mitcham still, Ray. Anthony Mariari, far too much space.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
If the ball can stay here for the rest of the day, we'll be happy. Centre wing right in front of our commentary position.
One thing that Mitcham have got to be very wary of, it happened in the first quarter and it happened there. Every time the Templestowe defenders come up, they punch to the boundary line. So if you've got men on the ground, you've got to cover the boundary line. Good
work from Prestigia Como, probably giving away a couple of feet in the ruck, but doing a fantastic job. Whitnish was held up and he'll win the free kick. According to the
crowd, not too happy.
His head, but we'll win the free kick. Decides to go short, finds Adam Beltraway. Former Nunawading Lion. Relishing the opportunity to play with the Tigers. Switches play to the outer side. Got plenty of room to work with Mitcham if they move it quickly. Decides to hold up play. So this is where Templestowe have really created a wall. Great kick. Kicks right across to Whitnish. So they've just got to find a bit of movement now. They've got the run of play at the moment. They give it up too easily though on that occasion. Lapari marks. Chance to create a bit of space as Templestowe go forward once again.
So Lapari's kick goes bouncing in towards the middle of the ground. That was okay, linking up very nicely. There was Wilson on the left boot. Inside forward 50 was towards the Grasser direction. Kicked off the ground there by Johnson. Found it linked up with a teammate, got it back, and then unleashed with a monster barrel up towards the half-forward line. Pignataro's there all by himself. He chips it over the top inside forward 50. It wasn't a crash-hot kick either because Stevens will be the first one there to mop up there for Templestowe. But on the fall of the ball, Mitcham get a shot on goal up towards bouncing football towards the Pim direction. It stays alive. Paddled it through his legs. Ball still stays in now for Mitcham. Nicely scooped up there by Hogle of the Chris variety, but he got brought over the boundary line and out of bounds by Xavier Jean, just laying the pressure at the ever so important moment.
It looks as though Scott Homewood has really identified Matty Stevens as the weak link in this Templestowe backline, and I think Johnny Pignataro has been given some instructions to run and run.
Well, speaking of running, Templestowe have run the ball out of the defensive zone, but only as far as Jared Whitnish now for Mitcham. Switches the ball into the middle. That was okay. Glossop takes off, kicks it across the face of the 50 there. They've still got the numbers. They've still got the time there. You would think here, Mitcham running after it. There was Hogle. He got beaten to the ball. Now, once again, Templestowe will bring the ball out to the far side of the ground. The kick was out there looking for Anthony Mariani. Knocked away from him and over the boundary line and out of bounds. The ball goes as we cross down boundary line to Georgina Carl, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Well, I need to swap my scarf for my sunny. It's really nice conditions at the moment, but a bit of a southwesterly breeze is picking up, which is in the direction of the Mitcham goals.
Good to see, just looking around the ground, Surrey Park Trail, Park Orchards by 4 points. Interesting game out there at Dominic.
Good game.
Just around the corner from us here at Templestowe Reserve is Mitcham stream forward through Whitnish in those horrid orange boots. Great mark taken over the back of the pack on that occasion by Pignataro.
And Whitnish has had a fantastic second quarter. He had a lot of the ball in this few minutes that they've been playing.
He had a bit in the first quarter as well, Ray.
Oh, he certainly did, but this quarter in particular. But look, boys, I was just thinking to myself before Whitnish bombed the nearly half the length of the field. Why don't teams go more direct to goals? They're crisscrossing all the time.
One man who's going to go direct to goal and he's going to slot this one home for the Mitcham Football Club is Johnny Pignataro, and he puts his side second on the board. They move to 2-2-14. Templestowe 1-4-10, and a goal against the run of play, some would say, really puts the mark for Mitcham.
Yeah, Templestowe really struggling to settle down so far in the second quarter. They've had their fair share of the footy, but they really can't string together consecutive possessions or chains of possessions. They're turning it over far too much, similar to what the Mitcham side were doing in the first quarter.
Look, sometimes there's a message in there what happened then. Look, as I said, look, 2 direct kicks from the centre of the ground and you got the ball in the goal square. And look, both sides mucked around in the first quarter with all this crisscross play, so maybe they've got to adapt that.
Ball back in the middle of Templestowe reserve. Higginson got the knockdown. That was clever. Looking for Whitnish. That nearly paid off too. Scrambled after the football. The umpire will come in and bounce it just inside the centre square as Mitcham surge forward once again. If you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio East, and we're 6 minutes into this second term out here.
And the ground's baked in sunshine.
It certainly is. 14 plays 10 in Mitcham's favour. Prestigiacomo got the knockdown. Mariani got the little handball away to his brother, and now Templestowe surge forward. The kick goes inside forward 50. At the fall, the ball couldn't quite trap it. There was Harris coming in through there to lend some support. Also, there was Mariani on the hands and knees. Mitcham might be able to get this one out. Ball scoops out. The umpire says play on. This is good umpiring. Once again, the ball scoots out. Mariani tried to come in and grab it. Nice little handball out there by Miller. I said it could be a free kick here to David Searle, who caught one high. No, advantage effectively was paid. Now Mitcham on the right boot up towards the half-forward line looking for Pym. He's been quiet, but he's a clever footballer, and he takes the mark out in front about 55 metres, probably make that 65 out from goal as he switches to play. Good kick towards the skipper, Whitnish. It just needs to sit up nicely for him. He paddled it to his advantage. He ended up grabbing the football, ducked into a tackle. Vankerkopf is there as well, laying a great bit of pressure there. Second effort, fantastic. Umpire said, well, he wanted to keep the ball going. He'll eventually come in and cross himself now, and we'll have a bounce 50 metres out from the Mitcham goal line.
At this stage, the best players on the ground are probably the two half-back lines, because that's basically where it's been bouncing back and forth from.
That's right.
So, Pye throws the ball back up, scooped upon there by Irwin. His handball went out wide. Going in on hands and knees was Prestigiacomo. Almost caught one in the back. Matt Mariani got the little handball out, and now the Dockers are away. Kick goes up towards the win position. Wadsworth was in position A, but the ball was knocked away from him. His second effort, though, was good to keep the ball alive. Eventually, it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds, right in front of the Templestowe faithful out here, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Too sloppy at the moment, the Dockers. The drop mark there from Wadsworth, a couple of missed kicks, some fumbles at ground level. They really need to get back to how settled they were in the first term.
Big knockdown that time by Prestigiacomo. The umpire said play on Mitcham. Scramble a kick up towards the half-forward line, and coming out and taking a solid marker there was Jack Purcell, about 60 metres out from goal. He's going back as if he almost fancy himself here. He is looking onwards sideways, but
That mark from Jack Purcell, that's one of his traits that we've seen for over the years. He just held his opponent out with one hand and marked with the other.
A little take a fair roost from there, and he went for every bit of extra distance he could and pushed it to the left-hand side for a behind. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is Mitcham leading this one 2-3-15. It's a 5-point ball game. Templestowe 1-4-10.
So Templestowe to clear out a full back. Mitcham faithful just trying to rev the boys up. Had a fair bit of the play so far in this first 5 minutes or so. Templestowe called to play on. They now have a chance to clear out a full back. Bain was the target, went past him, and now a chance for a mark. Couldn't quite take it on that occasion. Quinn. Ball spills out the back of the pack, and that's not Cross in jumper number 1. We'll get our...
That was Taylor.
Or Taylor in jumper number 7, I should say. All these numbers look the same as Templestowe stream down the outer side.
That's
Great
a throw.
work there from, on that occasion from Wilson. As they try to go inside forward 50, the pick. Couldn't quite beat his opponent, and now a chance for Mitcham to regroup off half back. Beltrawade will be the first to meet it. And the boundary line will meet him. 50 out from the Templestowe goal.
It doesn't really look like to me the work rate from Grasser is there at the moment. He's finding himself in some space, but he's really waiting for the boys to kick it to him. He's got to get out and move.
Johnson's not giving him an inch to move. He's playing a great game.
It's like watching a full forward and a full back in an under-15s game. Stat match stats, Grant Campbell.
Inside 56-3 in favour of Mitcham. Clearances 5-3 in favour of Templestowe.
Ball held up right in the centre of Templestowe reserve. Just a little bit of a 0-0 draw this game at the moment. No side can really get any ascendancy. 12-point lead to Norwood over Montrose at quarter time. Cracking game out there it should be. Melder gets called for a push in the back against Prestigiacomo.
That should have been
a free
advantage.
kick to Templestowe, and what should have been advantage.
Yeah, umpire just completely turned his back on what was going on.
So Prestigiacomo, pretty much right in the centre of Templestowe reserve, has the chance to send him inside forward 50. Plays on, gets around the man on the mark, now goes inside forward 50 in the Mariani direction. He can't quite take the mark. Boltraway just gave him a little bit to go on with. Gets it off to his brother, now a chance to go inside forward 50 once again. Find the target. Handball was shocking there from Quinn on that occasion.
Bain.
Still a chance to try and find it. Ryan Bain gets around one. Snapshot to the top of the goal square. Pick, can he mark it on that occasion? Not so. And the ball hits the post, through for one behind. And at Templestowe move on to 1-5-11. Mitcham 2-2-14 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
That's a great match-up there for Mitcham with Dan Johnson down there. He's a big unit on Simon Grasser.
Most important player on the ground at the moment, it has to be said.
Yeah,
So-
he is.
Mitcham doing the short passes at the moment as Taylor bangs it on his boot from the back pocket out towards the half-back line. Bolterate was there, so too in there was Jaden Hogle trying to keep the ball alive, and over the boundary line it goes for a boundary throw-in.
Templestowe really missing the influence of Jamie Bain. He's usually the one nipping around the heels of Grass and mopping up those spoiled footies and making something out of nothing.
Pye throws it in. Bolterate was wrapped up very quickly and heftily in a tackle, and will have a bounce.
Bolterwaite, you mentioned him. Now, he's been another great player for Mitcham up till now.
Certainly putting his hand up for Country Gully player of the day early in the piece as the ball comes down. The handball there by Jenkinson went out wide. That was okay. The kick from Mitcham goes inside forward 50, a bouncing football, and as we've seen so often on their way in attack, both sides heading wide, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds in front of Johnny Pignataro.
A lot of forwards not prepared to work too hard in this game. It's just very lax efforts from full forwards at both ends of the ground.
Certainly not a day for a marking forward, Dos.
Pye throws the ball up. Nice little tackle there by Chris Hogle. We'll have another restart. So we've gone 12 minutes here in the second term. It's a 4-point ball game here. Mitcham lead it. They've only kicked 2 goals, but have a handy lead, and they surge their way forward again. It's 50 metres out from there at goals as Bain goes in after it. He might have copped a bit of a shove in the back there. The umpire said yes, he did, and it will be Matthew Bain, the vice skipper, to relieve for Templestowe. It's a day where long jumpers are out and about. You don't see them too often right throughout the season, but certainly today is one of those days. There's a kick from Bain. It was a little bit skewy off the boot and over the boundary line. It goes for a boundary throw in about 70 metres out from goal.
So game's just hit a little bit of a lull at the moment. Prestigiacomo tries to grab it out of the ruck, can't quite do so, but Templestowe will clear away through Irwin. Jackson Irwin gets his kick up towards the Wadsworth direction. Right in centre wing, right in front of our key urgent care boundary riders. Mitcham chance to regroup. Under a lot of duress, Prestigiacomo takes the mark, goes inside forward 50.
Take off.
Simon Grasser all by himself. Can he slot his second up towards the top of the goal square? Kick was ordinary. And the ball will be punched away by the Mitcham defence and over the boundary line out of bounds.
I think Simon Grasser made the wrong decision there. He was running towards the goal. He should have just backed himself and gone for home.
Not the quickest player on the ground at the moment, but definitely had the room.
He had the space. He had the space.
So ball will be thrown in 25 round from the Templestowe forward line. Melder gets front position for Mitcham. Can't quite do much with it. Ball hard up against the boundary line as Mariani of the Anthony variety tries to get around. Still a chance. Good work in there from Bergen on debut. And a great tackle from Matty Mariani. The ball sent over the boundary line and out of bounds.
He's added a real tough edge. In fact, both Mariani boys have to this Templestowe outfit. I mean, fantastic around the stoppage as someone's dog just gets involved in the piece down there.
We go boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care, Tim Morgan.
Yeah, just going off that point, really physical down here. Fight almost broke out just in front of us. The tackling is just really physical and it's a really hard game.
As Johnny Pignataro marks about 50 out, decides to kick and finds Hogle of the Jaden variety, who plays on under a lot of pressure. Pignataro has to pick up quickly, can't do so against Prestigiacomo. Little kick off the ground, trying to get it back to Hogle. And great work from the Templestowe defence.
Stevens did
and
really well
there.
there.
Free kick, and Stevens will be able to work it out. Decides to chip kick across, finds Irwin. Darcy. Free kick will come back.
I was pulling out a card, I think.
Is that
it's
yellow
a
or
red card.
red? That's looking pretty red from here. So looks like, is it Jackson Irwin
It is.
who's going off the ground? You said before the game that he was going to be the hothead of the Templestowe Footy Club. But unfortunately for Rick Irwin, that's not what they wanted.
Yeah, we certain that was a red card?
We'll get our Akira Urgent Care boundary riders to confirm which colour card it was, as Georgina Carl has the answer for us.
Yellow card, boys, yellow card.
Yellow card for, so that's 15 minutes on the sidelines for Jackson Irwin.
We'll blame that on the sun that's actually not out.
Yeah, Templestowe still have the ball. I thought it was an automatic free kick, but anyway, alas, Templestowe have the ball, kick up towards centre wing, and Whitnish punches it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Great play by Whitnish then, coming over the top and then punching the ball away.
So chances Templestowe try to go forward once again. Ball thrown in. Short throw in, and
well done.
Taking it out of the mark on that out of the ruck on that occasion was Higginson. His kick wasn't great and found the Templestowe defence.
Comedian.
Chance to regroup. Done a lot so far, Comedian.
Yeah, former Whitehorse pioneer. Came across with Quinn and Carpenter a couple of years ago.
Just assesses his options. Kick short. One-on-one under a lot of pressure with Stevens, but he takes the mark and now he plays on around Pym. He gets his handball. Handball was ordinary. Now a chance to regroup through Searle for Mitcham. They go inside forward 50. It's a bit of aerial ping pong at the moment as both sides are trying to push forward. Great tackle off the back of the pack. Mariani had to drop it. Snapshot came around the body from Rob Petrarca into an empty goal square.
Oh.
And a fantastic goal from Rob Petrarca. And that's the goal that the Mitcham Footy Club needed. They extend their lead. They move on to 3-3-21, a 10-point lead over Templestowe, 1-5-11. Grant Campbell with the Stat match stats.
Inside 50s this quarter now, 9-5 in favour of Mitcham, and we might want to get our boundary riders to check who got that yellow card, because I saw Jaden Hogle walk off like he may have received the yellow card.
That could explain the lack of free kick.
That could explain the Templestowe still having the ball after that one. We'll get Eric here.
Tim spoke at quarter time about Rick Irwin still thinking that the handball receives are going to be what's going to get Templestowe back into the game. It's getting wet and greasy now, and they're starting to miss their targets by hand and foot. Ray, do you think they need to change that?
Yeah, I think you do. The wet weather foot, you've got to adapt to the conditions.
Well, as the rain comes down out here at Templestowe, Bolterate goes in after the football again, wrapped up in a tackle, and the non-officiating umpire came in and said he copped one a little bit too high. So Bolterate gets the handball off now. Running players on the right boot there is Lee Warren. It's a lovely looking kick inside forward 50. Pym was at the back of the pack. The ball bounces. It might sit up okay here. Marrow will get a snapshot on goal. That's 2 in a row for the Tigers. And they've got 4 on the board on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard now. And this led 4 on the board, I did say, for this afternoon's match. 4 goals, 3-27 to Templestowe, 1-5-11. They're on a little bit of a roll as we cross down boundary side thanks to Akira. Urgent care to Georgina Carl.
Yeah, boys, it's Jaden Hogle with the yellow card, and just to let you know, it is foul down boundary side. The rain's really picked up.
Got your brolly out there, George?
Yes, I do, thankfully, but I'm just about to pop it up.
Very good.
Some around the ground stores, all square at East Ringwood Reserve, 1-4-10 apiece against Balwyn. Knox lead Noble Park by 10 points. Norwood lead Montrose by 12 points. Blackburn lead Vermont by 7 points.
Nice.
In Division 2, Murrelbark by 7 points over Croydon. Donny East by 5 points over Mulgrave. North Ringwood by 2 points over Doncaster. And the Waverley Blues lead by 7 points over East Burwood. Into Division 3, Glen Waverley lead by 4 points over Upper Gully. Montana South by 15 over Churnside, and Baronia by 13 over Whitehorse. So ball back in the middle once again. Mitcham go forward. Can they continue this run of form? Melder gets it up towards the Pym direction. He can't take the mark. Can Lucas Murray make it 2 in a row? Can't quite grab a hold of it, but Mitcham still have it. Hard up against the goal square there with Chris Hogle, who snaps one from the impossible angle. Chris Hogle puts this one home for the Mitcham Football Club, and they extend their lead 5-3-33. They lead Templestowe 1-5-11. And I tell you what, this is a rich vein of form here for the Mitcham Tigers.
What was that? That was one of the most freakish things I've ever seen. He picked up the footy in the forward pocket on his left foot. No one went near him, almost Scott Pendlebury style. Just ran through about 3 Templestowe players and popped it through from the impossible angle. 3 quick goals for the Mitcham Footy Club, and he's been learning a lot about the Tigers here, fellas. I didn't think they'd be able to really turn it on and when the rain came down, but they've been pretty good since then.
What they're doing very well is they're getting the long kick out of the centre, and it's going straight down there to the goal square.
He loves his direct football, as does Ray Baird. As once again, Whitnish, he's dominating this game, bombs the ball inside forward 50 at the back of the pack. Pym, can he make it 5 in a row? Bouncing football up towards the top of the goal square. As you can see, that rain just tumbling down out here at Templestowe Reserve. It trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds for a boundary throw in with a little bit of argy-bargy going on in the background.
We're talking about Whitnish getting the ball out of the centre, but it's Nick Higginson who's getting the ball every knockout down to him.
Yep.
He's absolutely dominating those centre clearances.
So the umpire eventually brings the ball back into play as the knock by Harris towards the Whitnish direction. He wrapped his player up in Lapari in a handy tackle to keep the ball inside their forward zone, and we'll have a bounce about 30 metres out from goal. You can hear that rain coming through the effects mic. The umpire throws it up once again. Mariani at the fall of the ball for Templestowe. Had to break 1 or 2 tackles, eventually got the handball away. Trying to gain the ball back now. He does. Gets a little kick onwards towards the wing position. Grass has come a long way out from goal. He's not going to be able to see that ball over, and it goes out for a boundary throw. And it's across to Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Kicks this quarter 37-21 in favour of Mitcham, and on a day like this, that's going to be a pretty important stat.
Around the ground scores, Ferntree Gully Eagles lead Coldstream by 9 points, Forest Hill by 15 over Kilsyth, 4 points up Park Orchards over Surrey Park, an 11-point lead to Sylvan over the Eastern Lions as Mitcham try to go forward once again. Bit of a congested situation. I think this is the way the game's going to be played for the rest of the afternoon, Seymour.
It certainly looks like it. As soon as the rain comes down, it starts to become closed off, and a real scrappy, ugly sort of affair. Adam Prestigiacomo has probably been one of Templestowe's best players. Played in the ruck, but Ray, you're right. He's given away some serious height to Higginson, and Templestowe really not getting first use of the footy in the middle.
Templestowe get the run off the back of the pack. Nice work there from Seppi. Gets it up to the pick. A long way from home. Simon Grasser. They go inside forward 50. Great mark taken running back with the fly to the ball. And Mitcham a chance to regroup off half back through Miller. Miller switches play into a one-on-one dangerous position. Had to work for it there, Bell, just to try and maintain possession. Templestowe now a chance to regroup. Good work, Lodge putting his body in to try and get him away. A chance for Bain. Gets around 1 or 2. Now snaps it on the boot from 45 to the top of the goal square. Pig's got 2 to beat. Can't do it, Simon Grasser. Ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Interesting matchup in the Templestowe forward line. Ryan Bain, of course, we know he's a very classy customer. He's on the young man Jackson Glossop, who's a pretty good up-and-coming young defender, but Templestowe will be pretty keen to really get that one out happening and really find Ryan Bain. But at the moment, they've really just got to work on getting it inside 50, really.
So ball to be thrown in deep in the Templestowe forward line. A chance now for Wadsworth. Can't quite get the boot on the ball on the boot. And now gets held up, and a free kick going the way of the Mitcham Tigers as they trail out of defence up towards centre wing. A chance to regroup through Irwin. Irwin, short chip kick to about 60 out, finds its target. Good work from Templestowe, just trying to concede a bit of ground to go forward. Now they do so. Inside forward 50. Prestigiacomo had a couple to beat, couldn't quite do so. Mitcham clear out once again. So a bit of aerial ping pong once again as Templestowe mark 70 from home. Stevens, seen a lot of him so far. Manages to find his captain in Ryan Bain. Now Bain, 60 from home. We've got 19 minutes, second term. Short chip kick finds its target in Mariani of the Anthony variety. Probably too far out to score, although he's got a fair roost on that massive quad of his.
Not a lot of space in the Templestowe forward line.
Almost every player on the ground inside the forward line looks for Anthony Mariani, can't find him. Prestigiacomo leads in the race to the footy, gets it off to Matty Mariani. Now the snapshot comes on goal. Great work from the Mitcham defence. They're just clearing everything at the moment. Now they finally clear away through Miller. Chance to regroup. It looks like Purcell a long way from home.
That Mitcham defence is under extreme pressure, but they're handling it very well.
Got Bolterweight on this commentary side, decides to go wide. And now a chance on centre wing. A free kick will be paid. It's going to go the way of Stephen Pearman. Mitcham a chance to clear out to the centre wing.
Mitcham are going to surge forward too. Everybody completely stopped too. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. This is Pignataro. He comes in. He lines him up. He could put it through, but he pushed it to the left-hand side. That could have been a damaging goal late in this second quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It is Mitcham 5 goals for 4. Well, that doesn't make sense. It should be 34, and the Templestowe 1 and 5, 11. No, that's
what happened when there's 13-year-olds in the scoreboard.
I thought it said 24, and my apologies as Templestowe to bring the ball back in once again.
Pignataro should have done better with that opportunity.
Yes, he'll be certainly ruining that one, Raymond, as the umpires pulled out a free kick to Mitcham, I think, about 10 metres out from goal from a bit of shepherding off the play.
It was too high. The shepherd was too high. It was over the shoulder.
Unbelievable stuff here. It'll be Lucas Marrow, who's already kicked 1 goal in this second term, to be the recipient of this free kick. So certainly not what the doctor ordered for Templestowe. Rick Irwin will be absolutely filthy at that one as Marrow eventually, in fact, it will go to Marrow. Around the mill, Pignataro. So confusing us all out here at Templestowe. But Pignataro, he gets a reprieve, doesn't he? He comes in from point blank range and he absolutely slams it straight onto Porter Street.
Yep.
goal on the board to the Mitcham Football Club. That is their 6th of the afternoon on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They moved to 6 goals for 40. It's a very handy lead now, Ray Baird. Templestowe 1-5-11.
Oh, yeah, look, the Tigers have certainly broken the game open with 5-0 in this quarter, and they're doing it very well. Their back line is under extreme pressure when the ball goes up there, but they're double-teaming the key forwards for Templestowe, and they're running the ball out of there, and they're kicking the ball long. They're getting much more meterage out of the ball when they kick it than what Templestowe are.
Half-time out at Waverley Blues, 5-6-36. They lead East Burwood 4-1-25 in Division 2. In Division 1, it's a 14-point lead to Blackburn. The 37 plays 23. A few interesting results coming out from around EFL grounds. Currently, it's a nice, handy lead on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to the Mitcham Tigers. Ball back in the middle. 22 minutes gone, second term here on AFL Game Day. Thanks for listening or watching, streaming online on www.efl.org.au. Mariani over to Anthony Variety, tried to take it away on that occasion, couldn't do so. Secondary ball up as the rain is absolutely teeming down here. Would not want to be in a Kia Urgent Care boundary rider this afternoon.
No way.
As Templestowe try and
great
swing forward
tackle.
once again, fantastic tackle. Just doing the work in and under at the moment, Mitcham, Ray.
Yeah, they are. Look, you can't doubt either side's endeavour.
Bolterwaite gets it off to McEwen, who gives his handball off to Bell, who streams into the forward 50. Nice kick up towards the Pignataro direction. Was all by himself, then the defence came, but a free kick's been paid, and it looks like it's going to go the way of Pignataro.
Oh, so I tell you what.
He can kick the second within a space of a minute, and this will put the nail in the coffin for the first half for the Templestowe Football Club.
Was that paid because of the players coming in? When Pignataro was the only one facing the ball and the other players were running back with the ball, did one of the players...
Johnny Pignataro can line up for his second within a minute, lets the faithful know about it, and Mitcham have their 4th of the quarter, and they manage, their 5th of the quarter, and Pignataro has his 3rd, and they move on to 7-4-46. They lead comfortably in this one now. Templestowe 1-5-11 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Try your 6th of the quarter.
A classic example of what we're talking about, Ray, about just before that goal was kicked, Kirkhoff grabbed the footy out of the stoppage and ran towards the Templestowe goal. His first thought was look for the hands. He got tackled, it turned over, went down the other end. If there was a Mitcham player, it would have been straight on the boot and would have been 10 metres out from goal in a contested situation. Templestowe have got to get back to the basics and playing simple, wet weather footy. They're being far too flashy.
Second term, Croydon leading Mooroolbark by 10 points. Nice game out there at the range at Croydon.
It wouldn't be freezing out there.
Deep into the second term out here at Templestowe Reserve. It'll be Harris to go up against Melder as the umpire throws the ball aloft. We'll give that one to Melder, who won it clearly in the end. And Mitcham once again get another clearance inside forward 50 towards the Pim direction. It looked like it was going straight on his chest, but the big man missed it. Might be able to go after it again. Mitcham just holding the ball in there. Hear that rain. Jack Purcell came in a little bit too hard. And now the hail arrives at Templestowe.
And all the supporters on the outer side of the ground are belting to their cars.
Stay safe if you're driving out on the roads, listening to the broadcast today. This is terrible conditions. If you've seen the highlights of that St Kilda-Brisbane game out at Waverley years ago, this is not too far short of it. The Paul Pios goal when he basically couldn't see. The hail is coming down. So, ball in the back pocket, I think. Players will just be wanting this one to wrap up pretty quickly here as the umpire plucks out a free kick. It'll go the way of Templestowe.
It goes without saying how handy is a 35-point lead at half-time in conditions like this.
So Bergen has the football now for Templestowe. Handball off, kick goes up in towards the middle of the ground. It's a 2-on-1 situation and the one wins out. Good mark there by Alistair Quinn. He needs to get the ball moving quickly. Kicks it in towards the Grasser direction. Prestige Como was there at the back of the pack at the fall of the ball. Mitcham do have the numbers and Lodge was sitting on top of the pill, but he kept it in nicely and will have a bounce about 40 metres out from the Templestowe goal line. They are screaming for a goal. It is 6 goals, the margin 37 points. In fact, as Quinn got the knockdown, Bain tried to play for a free kick. The umpire said it was fair. Petrarca was in there for Mitcham. Ball scoots out in towards the middle of the ground as the siren sounds to end what was a very wet end to a second quarter, but a fabulous second quarter nonetheless to the Mitcham Football Club, who managed to pile on 6 goals in that term. As we heard from Paul Mercedes during the first term, the team struggled to kick goals down to that end. Well, Mitcham certainly answered the challenge to that one, kicking 6 and half of those in the rain. At halftime out here at Templestowe